Hello and welcome to your English news broadcast live on ERi-TV. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time from our headquarters at Asmara with your domestic and international news in brief. I'm Zahra Badouri, but first we'll begin with your major headlines for this broadcast. An announcement from the Ministry of Health. Seminar for Eritrean nationals in Riyadh. G20 meeting held in Rome, Italy. US FDA authorizes COVID-19 jabs for kids against COVID-19 5 to 11. Welcome to your domestic in brief. 3 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at testing stations in Asmara Central Region. On the other hand, 5 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central Region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly risen to 6,732, while the number of deaths stands at 45. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,834. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 31st October 2021. Mr. Al-Amin Mohammed Saeed, Secretary of the PFDJ, conducted a seminar for Eritrean nationals residing in Riyadh and its environs on the objective situation in the homeland and regional developments in relation to global developments. At the seminar that was conducted on 29th of October, Mr. Al-Amin gave an extensive briefing on the objective situation in the homeland and regional development, as well as on the national security, economic, political, diplomatic, and information programs, indicating that strong resilience against all external hostilities is not new to the Eritrean people, and that community-based development and resilient programs endowed with a strong relationship between the government and people have created a strong nation and national identity. Mr. Al-Amin expressed conviction that these values will enable Eritrea to emerge victorious against the new wave of hostilities, highlighting the significance of the effort the government of Eritrea is exerting in ensuring regional peace and cooperation. Mr. Al-Amin said that Eritrea will maintain a reinforced engagement for the development of mutual cooperation and friendship with the neighboring peoples and countries. Mr. Al-Amin commended nationals abroad for their contribution to national affairs and public diplomacy activities and called on the nationals to reinforce organizational capacity and raise awareness to enhance their role in the overall national development. Mr. Al-Amin Mohammed Saeed also gave answers to questions raised by the participants of the seminar. On your final domestic, 5th round training for members of the PFDJ organization in Europe was conducted from 17th to 24th of this October in Geneva, Switzerland. The objective of the training that was attended by 60 trainees from Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, the UK and Netherlands, France and Norway was to develop the understanding of members on the objective situation in the homeland and future development programs, as well as to strengthen their participation in the national development drives. The head of the political affairs of the PFDJ and presidential advisor, Mr. Yamane Gabrab, gave extensive briefing on the objective situation in the homeland in terms of the regional and global developments, future programs aimed at reinforcing political activities, and the role of citizens in the national affairs. Mr. Hagos Gabriwat, head of the economic affairs of the PFDJ, also gave a briefing virtually on Eritrea's economic development, vision and policy, as well as future developments and investment programs. Heads of the mission and public and community affairs from Europe and the US also gave briefings on various topics. Up next with your international news, stay with us after this short break for more. And on your reports on the international line, G20 leaders held their 16th annual meeting from 30th to 31st October in Italy's capital, city Rome. The meeting covered the issue of the COVID-19 pandemic and the chaos and economic crisis it caused upon human lives. Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi, on his opening speech, emphasized that the human focus should be in supporting one another and carrying the responsibility of a humanitarian objective towards each other and overcoming the crisis caused by the coronavirus pandemic and remedying our human and economic losses. The G20 leaders also, on their part, made a bold call in increasing vaccination supply to developing countries and remedying the economic crisis that struck our globe due to the pandemic and controlling its fast spread through sheer will of societal and global humanitarian teamwork. Russian President Vladimir Putin, on his part, said that the global citizens should be kept updated about the vaccination coverage, supply, and know-how advancements. However, the G20 leaders were established in 1999, and it now members 19 countries along with the EU. On your final reports, Food and Drug Administration giant emergency authorization of the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine in children. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has granted emergency authorization for the Pfizer and BioNTech coronavirus vaccine to be given to children between the age of 5 and 11 years. It is the first coronavirus vaccine approved in the United States for young kids after an overwhelming vote from a panel of FDA advisors earlier this week. Friday's approval is expected to make the vaccine available to 28 million American children, many of whom are back in school for in-person learning. Pfizer and BioNTech said their vaccine showed 90.7% efficiency against the coronavirus in a clinical trial of children aged 5 to 11. Only a few other countries, including China, Cuba, and United Arab Emirates, have so far cleared COVID-19 vaccines for children in this age group and younger. An advisory panel to the U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention is scheduled to meet on Tuesday to consider how the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine should be used in the age group. The CDC director will have the final say on approving it. However, with the FDA's decision, Pfizer plans to begin shipping millions of vials of the pediatric vaccine in vaccination sites. Once the CDC issues its ruling, eligible kids will get 2 shots at 3 weeks apart. While children are at low risks of the several illnesses or deaths from COVID-19 than older people, 5 to 11-year-olds still have been seriously affected, including more than 8,300 hospitalizations, about a third required intensive care, and nearly 100 deaths since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, according to the report from the FDA. Dear viewers, that is all for now with your domestic and international news in brief. Until we are back with some more news, stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. But until then, these were your major headlines for this broadcast in review. An announcement from the Ministry of Health as your primary domestic. Seminar for Eritrean nationals in Riyadh and 5th round training for members of the PFDJ organizations in Europe. G20 meeting in Rome, Italy. US FDA authorizes COVID-19 jabs for kids aged 5 to 11. That is all for now. Thanks for watching once more and have a nice one.